This video I'm going to look at is Joe Bonamassa telling us which 5 solos he thinks are must-learn solos for every guitarist. He's being interviewed here on Rick Beato 2, Rick Beato's other channel. I was thinking this was like the deep dive super nerdy channel, but according to Rick this is for his short form videos, but this sounds like a pretty nerdy video to me, just my kind of thing. I think this is my home. So this is Joe Bo by being interviewed by Rebe. It doesn't work quite as well, does it? Anyway, here we go.
Give me the solos that actually develop, that you say are ones that people should learn.
Thrill is gone?
All that. Learn the Thrill is Gone.
Ah, there we go. That's a very nice guitar he's got there. It's a good guitar sound, actually. I wonder what that is. If anyone knows, let me know. I reckon it's probably a 59, isn't it? Joe Bo's not going to go on here without a proper 59. In fact, I haven't got a proper 59, but I have recently bought an R9. This is mine. I love it. My first Les Paul I've ever had. In fact, I did a review on this. If you want to check this out on my channel. I really like this. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to plug this in. See if we can get a decent sound out of this. Hang on. Right, here we are. I'm plugged in. That sounds all right, doesn't it? I'll tell you what. I'm going to tell you what this is a guitar nerdy video, isn't it? That is plugged into my UAD Apollo into the 1959 Marshall Plexi with a room sound on it, so it doesn't sound so dry. Right, come on then, Joe. What else you got to say?
Yeah.
It's the definition of the simplest thing.
Do you know what? This is embarrassing. This is solo one, and I've never learnt this one. I used to play this song in a pub band. When I was at school, I played in a pub band with guys at my dad's age. And we used to do this song, but it was more of a kind of, these are the chords, just play this. So I never learned it properly, which is a bit embarrassing. I should have done, really, shouldn't I?
A wonderful song, but it's that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Oh, I don't need to learn it then.
You know what song it is, you know, and I would learn, if you're really on more of a technical end, if you really want to get into it, is you know, Stevie's.
Ah, this must be the second solo. Scuttle butting. Now, I did learn this one. Can't play at the moment, not warmed up. Carry on, Joe.
And when they were doing that Scuttle Buttin challenge,
Yeah.
Josh Smith started it.
Actually, I remember that. I think, did I post a video on it? Josh Smith didn't play it right, which is a bit weird as he started it. Joe's playing it right here, but...
And everybody plays it with 2 fingers. So do I, because it's easier. But I think Stevie does it 1.
Ah, that might be why I'm not being able to play it. It's that bit. If I do it with 2 fingers. Ah, there we go. That was better already without even practicing. Thank you, Joe. Well, I've learnt something today, haven't I? Scuttle butting, 2 fingers.
So I can't even do it.
Nor can I.
You know, that was how he did it. But, you know, because it was very technical at the top. Then the way he got it.
I have to say, I don't remember that bit in Scuttle butting. I think he's just from memory talking about vague bits in it. I do remember this bit that Stevie Ray Vaughan does. He does that 7 shape, so E. So you've got the D and the G sharp, so you've got the 7 and the 3rd. You go. And you just drop the whole thing down a semitone for the A. There we go.
You know, he did the Stevie thing, but it came down to earth. He didn't just keep shredding it. It wasn't that.
Oh, thank goodness.
There would have been just too much. So the way he cut between technical and
I'd like to take a second to talk to you about
Hang on, what's this about?
this channel. This is actually Rick Beato 2, and many of you are not subscribed.
I don't think I am. I better check.
As a matter of fact, 87% of the people that watch
80, who's counting? 87%. I think it must be one of them.
this channel regularly are not subscribed. So I would encourage you to hit the subscribe button on this channel and on my main channel.
Good idea.
This will help me get better guests and
What, better than Joe Bo? That's a bit rude, isn't it?
help continue to grow both of these channels. Thank you.
It's all right.
The classic Albert King solo for me
Oh, I know I've never learnt an Albert King solo.
is live at the Fillmore when he's doing Blues Power. And he's got the V.
Hang on, let me write that down. Blues Power, live at the Fillmore. I'm going to have to check that out.
He's got the Showman. And he goes for the... He's having so much fun. And he's getting the feedback out of the first pickup. You know...
Can't really get feedback out of a UAD amp model.
But he goes for the second time. You see him turn around and goes up to the amp, and he goes and turns the normal channel up because he's plugged into the normal channel. Pro tip for anybody who doesn't need the reverb on a Fender reverb amp: plug into the normal channel. It's got more gain.
Has it? More gain on the... I didn't know that. I have got an amp that's got that. Mind you, it's got modifications on it. That means it uses the gain from both channels. But that's interesting. I've learned two things today.
So then he goes, you know. Then he switches to the bridge pickup. Then he goes for the same bend. And he starts to squeal.
Yeah.
Unpotted PAS.
There we go. We've got the proper guitar nerd territory there. Unpotted PDS. I mean, Joe is a, self-confessed guitar nerd. He calls his place Nerdsville, doesn't he? I mean, has he got those sunglasses on? Is he in disguise, so we don't think he's a nerd? A bit like, Clark Kent, who's just Superman with the glasses on, but we can't recognise him. We can't recognise that Joe's a nerd when he's got those glasses on. Seems a bit funny when he's talking guitar nerdy, but there we go.
And it's just, and if he just left it on the front pickup, it would have had the feedback like he had before. But he was on fire, that solo. I mean, it's like I've watched that video 50 times.
We're all like that, aren't we? Guitar nerds. Watch it over and over again. I've made a note.
100 times. And
100?
just go, if I had a time machine, I would go back to that concert.
Surely there'd be something else you could do with a time machine. It would be good to see, though.
And be like, I don't care what it sounded like up front. I just wanted to be there, And I would say number 4, listen to Paul Kossoff.
Now you're talking my language. I was a massive fan of Paul Kossoff when I was learning. And it's weird that this is the first time I've owned a Les Paul, because I was a massive fan of Paul Kossoff. In fact, I'm going to tell this story. I used to dress like Paul Kossoff. I used to have my hair long. I used to wear white grandad shirts with a black waistcoat. And Paul Kossoff's dad came to our school. He used to travel around the UK doing a show called Late Great Paul to try and discourage kids from using drugs, because Paul Kossoff died from heroin. And he used to travel around all different schools. In fact, I saw it twice. He went to the school where my dad was a teacher as well. But when he came to my school, I watched it all, and then I took with me, I had a double album, I think it was a compilation album called Koss, which was all these Paul Kossoff tunes, and I took it backstage to meet David Kossoff, and he signed the middle of it. I've got it somewhere, I should get it out, saying, David Kossoff for Paul. And he looked at me and he went, bearing in mind that I was trying to look like his son, he went to me, "You look a bit like him, actually." I thought, this is the ultimate accolade. And he was lovely. And I did meet him again a little while later when he went to give the same talk at the school my dad taught at. But anyway, which solo is it? Or is it any in particular? Let's have a listen.
Anything, Fire and Water,
That was the sound I had in my head when I bought this guitar. Oh, it's getting that sound. You can't get that out of a Strat.
His use of fifths was amazing, And between him and Andy Frazier, you know, and then he's another one with a Les Paul and just would use the amp. And you know, he had to.
His vibrato. Is he going to talk? He must talk about his vibrato. I mean, that's Paul Kossoff's main thing, isn't it?
He had that great vibrato, you know.
I've been working on that again. I used to do it just naturally when I was younger. That really fast, wide vibrato. It's hard to do.
He would shake the guitar and like that.
He didn't shake the guitar. It doesn't vibrato.
Solo on Fire and Water. Sorry, I don't know them all verbatim, but
Don't know. But, oh dear.
it's the spirit of it, you know.
That's it.
And he was so in tune.
He was so in tune.
They obviously haven't watched all the videos because some of the ones where he was a bit out of it, he was really out of tune. And check out some of the live recordings on Spotify as well.
And he's kind of a guy that most young players don't know. That's
true.
Yeah, and it's a crime that Free is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's a crime that Bad Company's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like you know, I mean,
Classic.
talk about one of the most iconic riffs of all rock and roll riffs.
Right.
And you know, Kossoff. The first time I heard his name was a guy named Pete Way. Bass. He's now died. Died a few years ago. Great guy, bass player for UFO. And he's like, man, your vibrato reminds me a lot of Paul Kossoff. I'm like, what's a Paul Kossoff? And he goes, like,
Joe Bonamassa's vibrato doesn't really remind me of Paul Kossoff. It's not fast enough. Because I did a video on this. Another video. I did a video on this, and people have left comments saying your vibrato is not fast enough, and it's not because it's got slower as I got older. I used to be quick like Paul Kossoff, so I've listened back, and now I've been working on it again. But it's got to be. Whereas Joe's not doing it quite as wide and fast. It's that kind of thing.
the band Free. I'm like, huh? Right? So the first song I ever heard from Free was
My hand is shaking and my... What's that called? Walk in My Shadow, is it?
and he had that. And I was like, oh my God. And you're like, well, what's he playing? Oh, damn, another guy with another sunburst Les Pauls.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, that's just like plugging into the Super Lead. And there's that great video of them in Germany, and they have all orange backline, and they're doing Fire and Water, and I think they're doing, I forget what other songs they're doing. Just a lot of off of Tons of Sobs. And that's my favorite Kossoff tone, is Through the Orange.
Yeah.
I've never played through an orange amp, which is weird. But yeah, that is a good tone on that. I know that video.
Exactly.
And I don't think that was his
Does that mean that's what he's plugged in here?
backline, because you'll see Stevie Wonder playing the same show, and it's all orange backline, and everybody was using it.
That was the backline
amp
they were using for that.
And
yeah.
it was just like, okay, I'll plug into that, and it sounds like that. Fifth solo, I would have to say, yeah, you have to learn Voodoo Child, you know.
Voodoo Child, he said. Now, I used to think, I've corrected people wrongly, because I thought it was Voodoo Child, not Voodoo Chili, as people say. So Child, Chile, which it is on the album, but the shorter single version, the one we all know, Voodoo Child, Slight Return, it is Child. Didn't know, maybe it's because it's the child of the child. Anyway, he is right.
Start to finish, both versions, Stevie's and Jimi Hendrix.
Agreed.
And learn the slow version too with Steve
Don't know that.
Winwood on it. You know, it's just talk about a head, you know. Yeah, I mean, just
Yeah.
talk. I mean, I don't have a wah-wah pedal or a Strat, so you
Do
know,
really need a wah-wah pedal and stuff.
And a lot of times when you play them, I'm in standard tuning. When you play songs like that, they don't sound right.
Unless they're tuned down.
It is true. I mean, I wouldn't tune down this guitar, but on a Strat, if you're trying to get that, particularly the Stevie Ray Vaughan sound, it's definitely, there's a timbre there that you get when you're in E flat. It's difficult to describe, but if you're trying to sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan, as soon as you tune it down to E flat, you get much closer straight away. Fender amp, tube screamer, tune to E flat, play that kind of thing, hit it hard, you're going to get there.
Tune down.
Right.
Yeah. And
Why? Is it just because you're used to hearing them that, or is it the way the strings feel and the way
The strings do feel lighter, obviously.
that you play them? They just don't sound right.
fish and chips historically
Hang on, he's taking his glasses off.
has come with mushy peas. I don't know why.
Fish and chips traditionally come in mushy peas. Where's this analogy going, Joe?
But if you don't get mushy peas with your fish and chips,
I think people up north might disagree with this. I mean, Joe, I don't mind you talking about British guitarists, but you're talking about fish and chips here. I mean, surely you could come up with an analogy with an American cuisine.
doesn't seem like fish and chips.
So, there we go. Apart from the slightly peculiar analogy at the end, I thought that was really good. If you're looking to play a kind of bluesy rock thing, I think they were 5 pretty good solos. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video and my reaction to it and me getting out my guitar to compare it to Joe's probably £250,000 guitar with this one. I'm bringing out new videos at 7 p.m. Friday UK time, so please hit like, hit subscribe, let me know what you think of this, let me know if you know what Joe's guitar was, and if there's any other videos you'd like me to react to, let me know in the comments. Okay, well, I'll hopefully see you next week.